Jordan, have you been enjoying these scrapers?
I have quite a lot actually.
You scrape a lot of skis.
Hundreds.
Yeah, we use scrapers all the time. Scrapers are kind of ubiquitous. They're everywhere, and almost universally they suck because every company wants to make a cheap scraper, and the quality of the material actually matters a huge amount. Well, we refer to them as plastic scrapers. In the old days, we called them plexiglass scrapers because that's what they're actually made of. Plexiglass, otherwise known as acrylic, turns out to be not a totally basic material. This whole project here, these Caldwell Sport scrapers, are the product of the passion of our good friend Ulyss Ramsey up in Quebec, who is just crazy enough to have put a huge amount of time in the last year or year and a half into trying to help us make the best plastic scraper we could make. Because nothing is worse than a scraper that doesn't scrape wax. Wax companies all over the world make scrapers that won't scrape their wax. They won't hold an edge. They just don't work. Fundamentally, a scraper needs to just peel the wax away. You can't really over scrape. It's not going to scrape away the polyethylene base. It's a really important and good tool. It gets used all the time. And most of the bad service work that we do starts with bad scraping. So the quality of the material that gets used is really important. With Ulyss, we tested a whole bunch of different materials. We were trying different dimensions and way he wanted to try stiffening them. I've always felt really particular about the dimension of scrapers. That the 3 mil dimension is the best. And I think that has to do with the fact that the ski bases never stay totally flat. So we're always kind of manipulating them a little bit, but there's something about the feel in the hands as well. And as it turns out, we don't actually want them to be stiffened all that much. The material itself is available in different colors, different thicknesses, different stiffnesses. It's not like an industrial high spec material that comes out exactly the right thickness. You get a sheet of this stuff and apparently there's variability built into it. I don't I don't know much about the material, but Ulyss did a ton of research and spec'd a lot of material and was getting it from different countries and spending a lot of money to get acrylic, which is apparently almost like an art supply. I mean, it's a really specific, weird material that just isn't what I think of when I think of just plastic. But this is what it is. It can hold an edge pretty well given the work it goes through. We also tested a whole bunch of different edge sharpening methods. The thing about plastic scrapers, plexi scrapers, acrylic scrapers, is that you have to sharpen them. And so we're interested not only in a good starting edge, but an edge that you can sharpen easily and a material that takes sharpening in a variety of different ways. We use these electric sharpeners. They're kind of crappy, but they're fast. There are a lot of different methods of sharpening scrapers. Sandpaper on the benchtop is one, and we want all of them to result in a good sharp scraper. So we had them produced in a specific dimension. They've got to be the right size and shape. That's important. And also in specific thicknesses. Now, my standard is a 3 mil thickness. That's what pretty much every pro I've ever worked with prefers. And maybe it's just we've all talked ourselves into liking thin scrapers and it becomes kind of the norm. There are these, do I even have any? There are these 5 mil scrapers kicking around. I don't have any. Why would I? 5 mil is just too thick. 5 mil is like grossly thick in your hands. It feels terrible. But 4 mil is actually kind of interesting. So we have two thicknesses. We have 3 mil Pro Scraper and 4 mil Pro Scraper. They're both good. Have you noticed the difference, Jordan?
I have.
What do you like?
I'm still formulating my opinion, but the 4 mil is better than the 5 mil. I can tell you that much for certain.
Oh, the 5 mil's trash.
Yeah,
Fair.
absolutely.
Yeah. As always, we're looking for a scraper that will hold its edge. And to help it do that, we never scrape the edge of the ski with the cutting edge of the scraper. We always do that with the end of the scraper. These scrapers, the way he's manufacturing them, have some little marks on the end. I'm not sure. That's just the gross cutting before he does the sharpening. Doesn't matter. Whatever the case is, I don't think it's intentional, but it's not really a factor. Yeah, I mean, this just shouldn't be that big a process. For the amount of time we spend doing it, we want to always spend less time doing it and leave less wax to remove. And that's about it. I mean, the scraper needs to be sharp, stay sharp, and really help us remove the wax down to a clear boundary layer between the base and the wax. We want to get all the wax off and then be working the film. This isn't a complex thing, but a good scraper really matters. And we've got good scrapers.